Just past a busy intersection in the town of Temperance, Michigan, lies Pavlovs Brewing Company. Owned and operated by John Grohl and his wife, they have a unique origin story and great beers to offer. How you doing?
There.
My name's Trevor.
John Grohl.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Great place, looks awesome. Care to show us around?
Sure. Yep. We have a little bit of fun back here. As you guys can tell, we're in the midst of making all kinds of stuff. We've got some trials going on.
How many beers are you making right now?
Well, right now we've got all four of the vats are full, so it's 4 different styles of beer.
Wow.
We've got another Stink Eye coming through. Oktoberfest is sitting back here. There's also a peanut butter porter sitting back
delicious.
here. And soon the New England IPA.
Is it just you back here making these beers?
No, there's a couple of us. Myself, Kevin Wanzer, who is he's the full-time employee besides myself. A gentleman by the name of Scott Peck also comes in on occasion to help us brew. But it's usually just the three of us, for the most part, that kind of control everything that's going on.
Pretty impressive with the amount of beers I can see on your wall.
We've had the whole billboard full, 15, and matter of fact, if I could have put the 16th piece in there, we would have had all 16 full, except that beer keeps running out once in a while.
Get another small chalkboard, hang on the side.
Yeah, another sign. That was the whole idea. We're gonna put another little sign over there.
Brewer 16.
Brewer 16, yes. So back over this way, we still kept the vault, as you guys know. I mean, not everybody knows, this was an old bank.
Yeah.
So we flipped it over. And inside here is the old vault. It's now my office. And then back here is where the fun begins. So we'll go around over here.
How many beers can you get from one batch, one container?
We get, we're a 7-barrel batch, or a 7-barrel system. So we get 14 kegs of beer out of each one of them. We're running at about 220 gallons or so. Basically, it kind of starts at the cold liquor tank, and we filter all the water that goes in there from the city of Toledo. We have city of Toledo water here. So we put it all in there. We run it into the hot liquor tank, and the hot liquor tank's nothing more than really a hot water tank. I mean, that's really what it is. And we take it up to a certain temperature, and then we dump into this big old girl right here. Really nice. This
Pretty intimidating.
It is. It's a 10-barrel mash tun on a 7-barrel system. And some of the beers that we do, and we're also going to get into still, are really big ABVs. So high gravity stuff.
What's the highest ABV that you plan to go for?
Probably close to 10.5. Mm-hmm. So once everything goes through here, it gets rinsed, all the grains and all the good stuff gets rinsed out of here from all the grains that are sitting right here. I got 2 more batches ready to go. And then gets into the boil kettle. And the boil kettle, most of the batches we run here are usually going 60 minutes. I have a couple recipes that we do for 90 minutes at a boil. And once it goes through the boil, then we chill it down pretty quickly. And because we have a really cool chiller that takes it from about 200 degrees to 70 degrees in pretty much a heartbeat.
Wow.
And then over here, once it goes through the boil kettle, we'll stick it into a fermenter. And then once it's in here, we'll put yeast to it, the wort, and then the yeast will start to make the beer. This is a bright tank. We've got a pretty nice full bright tank here going on. And it's all bubbled up. It's ready to go to kegs.
Wow.
So once we get it into there, get it all bubbled up, we do a measurement, make sure we got our carbonation correct. And it comes into here and we get it all ready to go. As you can see, we've got plenty of kegs. Some of them are full. Some of the ones up top those are all empty, clean, and ready to go. And then as we begin to use beer here, it goes into here. And this is the playland of all playlands. It's a lot of fun in here.
Wow.
We have plenty of beer for everybody. So
Feels great too.
Yeah, it feels really good. We're at 38 degrees. Each one of these will hold a batch. Each one of these is about 216, 217 gallons. We fill them to the tippy top. It holds 3 of our beers. It helps with not having to have a whole lot of kegs. It kind of continuously helps. And then, of course, here's all the rest of the beer that's already made and ready to go to hit the taps. And yes, that is spaghetti, and it stays like that. I can't, no matter what we try to do, it doesn't change.
Swapping them so often, there's no point in staying.
There's no point. There's no point. But we try. We try.
So what's the story of Pavlovs? How did you get here?
Well, I'm a home brewer. Have been for a number of years. My wife would have told you I'm nuts. And I probably am. But I blame her for all this because really the reality is that she started all this. You know, she even bought a little a starter kit, you know, and to make a beer. You make a 5-gallon batch and you go on. And of course, she bought her favorite style. So
here's a gift for you. Make it for me.
Make it for me. So that was great. So we ended up making that beer. It was an amber, and it actually turned out really well. I mean, we followed the instructions as close as we could, and then of course I did some other study before we actually sat down and went through this and to look at some other ideas of what maybe people had as far as brewing a beer from a kit. And then it kind of took off from there. I mean, the reality is it went from one beer to another beer to another beer to another beer, and before we were really done in the first year or so, I mean, we had made like 30-some beers, and I was giving more beer away than we were drinking. I mean, if I was drinking all the beer I was making, I'd probably be 400 pounds right now.
Yeah, can't test the entire supply.
But I was sure enough testing all kinds of stuff. And did we make our mistakes? Oh yeah, we had some really, really bad tasting beer.
Those are the ones you give to your next door neighbor that you don't like.
Or the person you don't like, really bad. Here, you can try this one, and I want to get rid of the rest.
Yeah.
So we ended up, you know, you learn a lot of hard lessons. And then after that, I mean, I got into, I joined a couple groups. One was the Toledo Masters. And that's a group that's really kind of built around style, a study of style, and a study of what hops and grains and all kinds of things that, you know, kind of go into beer. And then you get the opportunity to really talk to people about their experiences with beer and how you make beer and how you do things with beer.
So your wife planted this seed. She gives you the kit. You dish it to your friends and family. They say you're doing well. This is fantastic. You join these clubs. You get more informed. Where's that leap from what you did prior to opening this establishment?
Wow. The leap comes down to a couple different things. First, I spent 31 years as a forklift technician. I worked 28 and a half of those for one particular company. After all those years of doing that, it was time for a change. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm here. I wanted to change. And then number 2, I felt like, you know, my beer's pretty good. You know, I felt like we could do. I think we could do it. You know, let's give it a shot. You know, the thing is that I realize now, if you don't give it a shot, you'll never know.
True.
And I get it. I jumped in with both feet. A lot of people wouldn't have done it the way I did it. I mean, basically, my last day with the company that I was working for, Crown Lift Trucks, was the day that I opened this place.
Wow,
we had
that fast?
That fast. We had our grand opening that week.
Yeah, and you're doing something that makes you happy now.
And there's a lot of things in here that I thoroughly enjoy doing. And there are a lot of things I don't. I'm going to admit that too.
Good with the bad.
Good with the bad. Learning to run a business is something, you know, totally different.
No one really thinks about that when they say, I want to make beer. So they come from this side where it's like, well, I like beer a lot. I want to make it. And then you never think as a conversational piece, like, well, what's the stuff that you don't want to do that you must deal with? It's the business side. I know nothing about that either.
I didn't, when you jump into this, there are people that will help. I got some advice from some very good friends and an uncle who without him, we're not sitting in this building. So
he was a bank teller?
No. Well, yeah. Well, we tore the bank all apart. We tried to find more money, but there wasn't any more money to be found. He helped me put together a really cool business plan. I'm literally working it all out at home and sending him all the information and doing what I have to do. To get here, it took 2.5 years.
Wow.
To get here.
The outside looks like you have a lot of room. I hear you have food trucks come by here.
We do have food trucks. We have 2 or 3 or 4 of them that we've had here on a regular basis. I think it's a great idea to have some food trucks. We've got some restaurants there locally. They're getting ready to set up food trucks, and they are more than welcome to bring their food truck here and put it out front. And
that's fantastic. Local businesses helping each other. I mean, the 2 of the local businesses here, the ones that kind of gave me some interesting advice to find certain things to help you. Richard, who is the owner of Forest View Lanes, and the owner of DeCapo, Mark. Both of them gave me some really key advice, and also gave me some really key contacts to get me here and to help me, or get yourself organized, because getting organized in a business is really important. Trust me. I'm one to be fairly organized, but not quite as organized as we are now. As we can tell by the spaghetti, right? But
yeah.
That's something we like that way. It stays that way.
But I love having the food trucks. We would like to have a few more.
Is this like on a weekly basis or like once a month?
Well, no, we'd like to have it on a weekly basis. I'd like to have them on Fridays and Saturday nights. We'd like to add Thursday night to it. Make it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday where we have food trucks. We have 4 televisions. We're liable to put up some interesting food items during Sundays. We're trying to make contacts with a couple of the local businesses where we can provide, a snacky of some form while you're sitting here watching the football games and having a really good beer.
Right on. Whether you're in Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, or just passing through, stop into Pavlovs, make a bank pun, ask John what experiments he's brewing, and enjoy a beer.